All right.
Okay, I have clicked the recording, cloud recording. So we wait for a few minutes. I think it is too early. It's 9:40. So we wait for another 15 minutes. I think they will be able to join in. Okay. Good morning, sir. Good morning, Prof. Bala. Can you hear me?
Hi. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. How are you?
Good. I just want to check, are you in a correct link? This is for the SBA project writing guidelines.
That's right. This is what Zoo sent to me.
Okay. You can check the email whether this is the correct one, because I clicked from the email SBA, from SBA.
I also clicked from my email.
Okay.
Maybe
Zoo
is Zoo around?
okay. Zoo is not around. She was in earlier. She has made me the co-host. Okay. Can you check the email and confirm, because I have clicked from the SBA link, and the link I have shared to everyone in the SBA.
Okay, let me go out and try again.
Okay, you can try. There are links given for SBA, SCHS, and also SST.
Okay, let me check.
And okay, or you can you can join in with the ID and password directly with the ID and password.
Yeah, but okay, let me check. Yeah.
Okay, let me know if I'm correct. If not, I can move out and then join the correct link. But as far as I can, as far as I know, when I check, it's a SBA.
Okay, let me go out and check first.
Okay.
Thanks.
Morning, Dr. Bala.
Good morning, madam.
Morning.
Tahniah, madam. Congratulations, power.
Taklah.
Yeah, congratulations, Kajari. Good job.
Thank you. Lots of hard work. Everybody chipped in. It was 1 year of work. One solid year. Okay, we'll join shortly. I need to attend to something.
Sure. We will wait for another 10-15 minutes. It's still 9:45. So we wait for about 10-15 minutes. Then we can start our session. I just hope I have shared the correct link as per the email.
Looks fine to me. Can join, ma?
Yes. You punya video tak jalan ke? Video tak ada.
I tak on lah sebab nampak tak kemas langsung.
Oh, tak apa. As long as you boleh bincang, you will be able to join with the audio.
Because June is having another session right now. So I have to tell her that I cannot join her session.
Okay.
I need to be in this session. So let me attend to June first.
Okay. Good morning, Christine. Christine. Okay, I'll be back in 5 or 10 minutes. We wait for the others to join in.
Okay.
Dr. Bala. Hello, Dr.
Yes,
Bala.
Prof.
Yeah, there's some problem now because I went in there, so she'll send me again. It seems so I have to go out again.
Oh, okay.
This is the thing I was telling, I could anticipate this happening, having at the same time.
Mhm.
Okay, never mind. Yeah, thank you.
Okay. May I know who is Jan Cheng? Can you introduce yourself?
Hello, Dr. Bala. I'm Stella. Actually, Junxin is my
Oh,
son.
Okay,
I changed the name first.
All right.
Yeah,
Thank
thanks,
you. Okay.
Because he used my laptop for his class.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Thanks.
Mm.
Good morning, everyone. Can you hear me? Alex is here, not Dr. Kang. I see there is a Dr. Alex.
Yes, good morning. I can hear you very well.
Okay. Are you in the correct link, Dr. Alex?
I'm not sure.
Okay, because this link is for the SBA.
Oh dear. Okay, I'm in the wrong room then.
Okay.
Okay, I'll need to go and
You
find
check
my.
the email. I just Dr. Prof Bala also joined in with the same link. I
Okay.
requested him to check whether
Okay.
I'm wrongly entered into your link or you have come into the right link, but I clicked as per the email sent by Zoo.
Oh, okay.
Email,
So what should I do now? Doctor?
You might have to. One thing that you can do is that she has given the ID and the password. You can enter into the Zoom just with the ID and password. You can check.
All right. Okay, I'll go now.
Okay. Thank you,
Thank
Dr.
you.
Alex. Yep.
Bye.
So we wait for another 2-3 minutes. Exactly at 10, we will start our session. Although there are only 6 of you here. Good morning, Dr. Kang. Selamat pagi.
Good morning, Dr. Bala. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you very clear and
you.
loud and
Thank
clear. Just another 2 minutes, then we will start. Good morning. May I know who is joining from iPhone? There is iPhone. I'm not able to see the name. Can you confirm or introduce yourself? iPhone 12 PM 6D. Can I get your introduction? Oh, can you all hear me first? Am I audible?
Yes, we can hear you, Dr. Bala.
Can.
No problem, Dr. Bala can hear you loud and clear.
Okay. I just wanted to know this iPhone 12 PM 6 December. Who is that?
Isn't Dr. Lu?
Dr. Lu is already in. Dr. Lu is already here. He's the first to join.
Chu Hong in already.
9:40 is already. He has already joined at 9:40.
That might be him as well.
Okay. But I'm not sure who is this iPhone 12 PM 6D. Okay, but I'll wait for them to introduce later. Mr. Yo is here. Hezri, hello
Myself,
Hezri.
the Jamban version.
Which one? Yours,
Yes, I open too.
Okay.
I bring the iPad into the Jamban.
Okay.
Okay,
That's
so
why I
later,
say.
later I will tutup.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dr.
Right.
That's why I say it's too
Yes.
long.
Takkan I bring this one into the Jamban, is it?
Okay. Fine,
Okay,
fine.
so later I will switch this off, okay? So now
Okay.
Jamban mode, okay?
Okay,
Mm.
fine. If you have taken it to Jamban, okay. All right, fine. Mr. Yo, you wanted to say something?
I'm having another meeting with
Okay.
the AICB. So
Mm.
as soon as ended here, then I will join you all.
Okay, fine. This session is going to be recorded.
All right,
You
all right.
can
Thank
view
you
the
so much.
recording.
All right, thank you so
All
much.
right. Thank you. Okay, thank you everyone. I think we have already 9 here, 8. Quite a number of our colleagues are not in yet. I think they will be joining in later, but it's already time. So we start exactly at 10 a.m. as the time has been given to us. Okay, very good morning to everyone who is here. Thank you for your attendance for this training. Now, this training is going to be about 1 hour or 1 hour plus. Okay, just give you an overview, 1 hour or 1 hour plus, because this writing, guiding student for project writing, there are 2 parts. One is for the masters, for the SEMBA project writing, and another one is for the DBA and PhD. Now, the DBA and PhD is supposed to continue after the project writing. After I have completed the guidelines for project report writing, you will continue with the DBA and PhD. But Dr. Anbar, who's supposed to conduct that session for DBA and PhD writing, is not around today. He's away, so he will be doing that session together with another session that is preparing the students for BWIWA, especially for those of you who are involved in supervising DBA and PhD students. So that will take another session where the date will be announced once Dr. Anbar confirms the date together with the Center for Graduate Studies, CGS. Okay, so this session is only going to be on project report writing, that is the SEMBA, our MBA. Okay, so let me check. Everyone is here. Not everyone is here. Some are not in. Some are few. I know that you have training. So you have training. CY Ui, who is that? CY Ui. Can you introduce yourself?
It's me, Cherry.
Oh, okay.
Dr. Ui, okay.
Dr. Ui, Dr. Ui, are you in a correct correct link?
Not correct. Oh my god. Okay.
You're from SST, right? If
Okay, I enter a room. Sorry.
Okay. Because the link are all similar link. All the link is given the same, but you have a different ID and password. Please check.
Okay, thank you. Bye.
Okay. All right. Thank you. This is for the SBA. Okay. All right. Now let's move on into the objective of the session and what we are going to look at. Some of you are already experienced in this. Many of these areas related to guiding students project, unless some have first time doing it. I hope none of you falls under those who are first time doing supervision and guiding project. Okay, anyone, just let me know if you have not done in the past, first time you are doing it. Please identify yourself. Anybody? First time. That means you have not done in the past. You have not done any type of supervision, or you have not guided any students for whether it is a project for masters or doctoral. We are not going to look into doctoral yet. Doctoral will be another session, at least up to the masters. Anyone? Please identify.
Dr. Bala,
Yes.
when we here,
Yes.
previously I only supervised for undergrad.
Okay. All right. Good. If you have supervised for undergrad, still you know the steps. What are the things that are involved? Okay. So the first objective is that to know the guidelines and expectation of report writing for supervisors. In fact, for SEMBA, you already have the guidelines. I think later on I will share. The guidelines, I've checked with the dean, I think about 2 months back, he sent me one guideline for the students that we usually provide to the students. How to go about writing the, what you call dissertation or project for the SEMBA. And also, I'm sure all of you have the rubrics, the marking rubrics, the marking guidelines that we have been using for many years. As far as I know, I'm already about 8.5 years, going to no, more than 8.5, going to be 9 years if we reach July. It's almost the same. There is not much changes to the guidelines. Okay, so you have the guidelines and expectation, and most importantly, it's going to be more discussion based. I'm not going to give you a lecture like how to write, what to write. Because all these things, I'm sure you are familiar, no, about writing abstract, writing introduction or background, problem statement, how to go about literature review, because some of you are already expert in those fields. Unless if you have any questions that you want to ask, you can ask. Let me tell you, I'm not a subject matter expert that I can answer everything about every areas about research and research writing. If I'm not able to answer, we have a pool of expertise in this group itself, who have gone through several years of guiding and supervising students in their project. Okay, we're going to look at the challenges. Feel free to share your challenges, especially what you feel, what are some of the main problems or issues that you confront in dealing with students, what you call writing. It might also include supervision and also writing. Feel free to share your thoughts, and we will be together, not by myself, together try to identify the what can be the strategies and action plan to overcome those challenges identified. Because each and every students that you deal with, they are different in many areas. Differences not only the way they look at the project itself, their attitude, their belief about accomplishment of this project, their perception about the project itself. So many differences. Okay, that we are going to look at. Now, before we go into looking into the project writing, it's important for us to make a clear distinction between what is a master's project, how it is different from master's thesis. Thesis will become, thesis is let's say if a student is taking MA, MSc or MPhil by research, master's thesis or dissertation. In the term thesis and dissertations are used interchangeably depending on countries. There are countries that they use dissertation more, less on thesis. So if you do a search, you will know the distinction that can be drawn between what is a thesis, what is a dissertation. But as I said, it's used interchangeably. Okay, so what is a distinction that can be drawn between a master's project, okay, a master's thesis, and doctoral thesis such as DBA and PhD, and what makes it different? Okay, let me unshare for a moment. Feel free to give your views. You can we can have a discussion maybe for within 3 to 4 minutes. Anybody have any thoughts or any information about the distinction that you can draw between these 3 types of writing? Writing for the project, writing for a master's thesis, and also doctoral. Come on, anyone? I'm sure you know, some of you have done project, you have done, you have supervised project, and you are also supervising PhD and also DBA. Or what is that makes it different? Anyone? All quiet. I'm sure you have your thoughts, your views. Ada tak? You are just like students now. When we ask questions, they don't respond. Everybody is quiet. Anyone of you? Okay, I'll call the names. Okay, you can respond based on your experience in the past. Okay, who shall I call? Okay, so let me see from the name list here. Who's the first?
Okay lah, I will talk lah.
Yeah, you can talk. Yes. Okay.
Okay,
What
don't
is
turn
your
on the
thought?
camera. Ah.
Yeah.
Don't turn on the camera. Ah.
Sure. I'm not. You
Okay.
decide whether you want to turn on or not.
Actually, PhD requires a breakthrough, some new knowledge.
Mm.
But this is very nice on paper, because I hardly see anything, that is actually a breakthrough. I don't think Penang is as big as Australia. Okay, to learn so many things, there is a breakthrough. Okay, so this is nice on paper only. I don't say too much already. Okay.
All right. Anybody else wants to share? Thank you to Dr. Lu for your sharing. Even though you're busy at this moment, you still contributed your thoughts and your experience in this. Anybody else? Anyone? Siapa pun boleh jawab. Soalan umum. Soalan umum yang berpengalaman, those with experience.
Yang boleh dijawab daripada jamban.
Yes. Orang boleh jawab dari jamban. Still. Thank you. Anybody else? Maybe we can hear from one or two before we move on. Anyone? Madam Kajari, ada pendapat?
I kurang pengalaman dalam supervision. Just started last year only, so I'm actually waiting to learn important pointers.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Anybody else? One more. Sorry, I have been coughing a bit.
Dr. Bala,
Yep.
morning. Devi here. What do you want to know actually, Dr.
What
Bala?
is the distinction that you can draw between project writing for a project or dissertation for a project, master's thesis, and also a DBA or PhD thesis? What makes it different? Because when you look into the methodology, when you look into the steps that are involved for research, it's similar. It's similar for project. The steps are similar for project, also for master's thesis, also for doctoral and PhD. What makes it different?
The quality and also the depth of the research, Dr. Bala. The level of the quality, their research, the depth of the quality.
Okay,
I mean, like the research. How far they can actually produce the paper compared to, like, for example, like masters, maybe they cover only like specific organization or specific areas and all that. But for PhD and all that, we are looking at a very vast kind of area, and the knowledge should be more actually, the paper also they're about to produce should able to give some more information rather than on a specific target and all this. That's my opinion.
All right, thank you, Dr. Parimala. But I think I can put it the other way around. For a master's, it can be a bit generic compared to a doctoral. DBA or even PhD. A DBA or PhD has to be very narrow in terms of the scope. One particular area where you apply theory. Then other areas that can provide distinction is the scope of your study. What is the scope of your study? Of course, scope of the studies can be one that can make a distinction. Third is the duration. One is a shorter duration. Usually for a project, how long is a project? In the past, we used to do the project 6 months, and then from 6 months, I think now it is 8 months, and then whereas for a master's by research, it can take more than a year, 1 year or even 2 years. Whereas for a PhD, it might take even longer. It can be 3 years or even more. There are people who have done, I know people who have done PhD, it took them about 5 years, 6 years. It takes a much more longer time. So the scope, it is a more longitudinal study. Compared to a master's. And another important thing to note is that the contribution to the knowledge. These are especially people ask, what makes a DBA thesis different than a PhD thesis? In fact, I can say not only DBA thesis, but also master's thesis or master's project. The distinction is that contribution to the knowledge. One contributes to practice, like in a master's, like an MBA, practical contribution carries more weight, practical contribution. DBA also more practical contribution because DBA is a professional doctorate. Whereas when we look at the PhD, it's not just practical contribution, it's more theoretical contribution. That means you have discovered a new theory. A new theory has been discovered and you are able to contribute to the knowledge in a specific field. Okay, I hope that clears. And in fact, we can look at many other distinctions. There are many other ways that we can differentiate between master's project, master's dissertation, and also DBA and PhD. Okay, now let's move into the supervision and the writing. I can share from my experience. I'm currently supervising 10 DBA candidates. Not all of them I supervise individually. Most of the candidates I have co-supervisors who work together with me to supervise the candidates. And I also have 2 PhD candidates. One of the PhD candidate I have co-supervisor, whereas one more PhD candidate I'm supervising on my own. So based on experience, okay, it's important to understand the psychological contract in terms of supervision. This is actually very generic. You need to know the expectations of the other party. Each of the students, you need to know what they expect from you. And it is important for the students to clearly understand what you expect from them. So usually for the supervision, including all areas of supervision, including the research process and also the writing part of the project, it is essential to clearly define the expectation from day one. If you don't define this expectation from day one, and then at the time when he or she, the student, have completed and then going to write, then you are telling the student, oh, you should have done this, you should have done that, this is not right, that is not right. No, it has to be from the beginning, from day one. That's why understanding the expectations between 2 parties helps a lot of problems. In fact, it can avoid a lot of problems. Usually I use this psychological contract in HR training, HR understanding employers' expectations, but it can also be applicable to the student-supervisor relationship. So this psychological contract is not a written contract. Contract yang tidak tertulis. There is no written contract. It's more on the understanding and expectations of both parties that makes a relationship. Any relationship, the psychological contract is important. Even a relationship between husband and wife, among friends, any relationship, you need to be clear with the psychological contract. Otherwise, it can end up in a failure. One classic example is shown here. Coca-Cola salesman who went to Saudi Arabia, he wanted to sell Coca-Cola. He didn't know how to speak Arabic, so he tried to convey the message through 3 posters. One poster, someone is lying on a desert, exhausted. The second one, he starts to drink Coca-Cola, and then after drinking Coca-Cola, he was refreshed and he starts to run, just like running a marathon. And he pasted the poster everywhere. A friend told him, "Oh, that would have worked very well." But what is the salesman said? The hell it should have, because no one told me they read from right to left. What he expected is that they are going to read from left to right. But on the other side, they have understood this from the right to left. So that's why in the beginning, okay, in the beginning, any supervision that you take, any role of a supervisor, first meeting itself. In fact, for most of my DBA students, not to say most, all the DBA students, even the PhD students, first meeting itself, I make a clear clarification. What is my expectation? Together with the co-supervisor. In fact, I will discuss with the co-supervisor. Any of you have co-supervisors? You supervise on your own. Anybody with the co-supervisors for any, especially those who are doing DBA? I'm sure some of you have. I know Dr. Wen Hui have a co-supervisor. Anyone? Okay, Dr. Lu, I don't think you have co-supervisor or not. You have PhD. I know you have a PhD candidate and a DBA. Also, Dr. Kang. Boleh dengar tak? Can hear not? Sometimes connection or what? Can. Okay. Oh, you're back. Okay, very good.
Boleh I sendiri buat punya.
Okay. Sendiri. That's important, the first stage. Clarifying the expectation. Okay, now let's move into the normal. This is a normal research process. I have taken some of the slides from previous RSPW. I think those who are new, who just joined WU, you might not be familiar with what is RSPW. We used to do research, residential research workshop for the students. So the residential research workshop for the students, we used to have a lot of training for the students, guidelines for the students, starting with the research problem identification, okay, the title, getting the right title, and then setting the objective, what is the purpose of the research, identifying the research questions, and then developing research framework, data collection, analysis, and the last part is the writing. So we have this, writing falls under the last stage. But before we learn about guiding students in writing, it is essential that every supervisor needs to have the basics of various stages of supervision. Even though you might not be subject matter expert, there are many thesis or dissertation in the DBA that I'm currently supervising. I'm not the subject matter expert. Because some of them are doing about industry 4.0, SMEs, they are doing oil and gas related industry, operation, something also relates to operation, something that relates to healthcare industry, HERQUEL, that means something like CERQUEL. So they have, these areas are not within my area of research, but as a supervisor, it might not be your area of research. It's not something that you are knowledgeable in it. You might not be knowledgeable in that, but it's important to understand that the process that are involved. Okay, only when you are clear with the process. If you are not so sure about the process, like for example, how do we identify research problems? Today, you don't have to go and do the library and search, look for this. It's a valuable, even through a search in an internet, even YouTube videos, there are plenty of information, resources that are available for you in each of these stages. Each of these stages you have. Tell me if you are not able to find, I can search and tell you. I can search and then provide to you. Some of the areas, like for example, I'm not a strong quantitative. Mine is a qualitative, or some of the students, they do a mixture of a quantitative and qualitative. Like in a DBA, those students are doing quantitative. I have co-supervisor who is strong in quantitative, who can assist me, especially in terms of the data analysis and all that. Sorry. Okay. So know your stages. Sorry. Stages that are involved. Every stages is important. Okay. And know the student. What is a problem that are experienced by the student? If you want to solve any problem, it's important to look at the problem, like what Einstein have mentioned. Given 1 hour to solve a problem, it's better to really focus on the problem from various perspectives. Sometimes it might be seen as a problem to the student. It might not be the problem at all. You have to look at it from various stakeholders. This is actually going to go into a next stage where we will learn about problem statement, writing problem statement. In fact, before write a problem statement, it needs to be very clear with identifying what the real problem is. What the problem that the students can tell you, it might not be the problem to someone else. It might not be a problem to the management. It might not be a problem to the industry. It might not be a problem to other stakeholders. So it is important for the students. I think sometimes what happens is that it happens even in DBA. In the DBA, there is a course 708. 70708 is management consultancy. Management consultancy itself is a mini project. And then they move into 708, conceptualization on theoretical framework of research. Now, I used to tell the students in the past when I used to help out in the DBA program, when I used to go and give previews, many places that I used to give previews, they will have to start their dissertation when they enroll for 708, not when they enroll for 710. Because 708 is the area, in fact, the students who have completed 708, they will have a clear picture about what is research proposal. So what is a research problem, identifying a research problem and all that. Okay, that's DBA. The same also can be applicable for a project, a master's project. Take more time requesting the student to look at that problem that they want to analyze and they want to solve. What happens is that if they don't do this effectively from the beginning, what happens, like in the past, I have seen even the other not the masters, because I have not supervised masters, mostly the DBA and PhD. There are students who wants to change. They say, oh, can I change? I want to relook at the problem. No, this is going to take a lot of time. So it is better from the beginning, you make it clear for them, look at the problem from various perspectives. Okay, I can go on and on about it. So now, maybe I break for 5 minutes. What is your problem? Okay, let me share again, reshare it. Okay, what is your current challenges? You can share, feel free to share. Okay, identifying your challenges in report writing, or it can even be supervision as a whole. Please tell me, or please share your thoughts. All of you are expertise, you should know.
Okay,
Feel free.
Dr. Bala.
Yes.
Lillian here. Can I say
Yep.
something?
Yes, sure, Lillian.
Okay, what happened is that I took on Master Samba students, okay? And they show me their research method. And the research method show me something like they use the theory motivation, the Maslow hierarchy of motivation, and then they want to talk about satisfaction. But the thing is that, the theory that they use is wrong. How are you going to talk about satisfaction with Maslow hierarchy theory? But the thing is that it's not corrected at research method end. It should be corrected at research method end. Rather than when the student come to me and tell them, sorry, you have to redo the whole topic all over again. That's my biggest problem.
Okay, thank you, Lillian. This is where the clarification from the beginning, you have to tell where it is wrong to the students. Sometimes students do, like Maslow hierarchy of needs, it's more about need analysis. Of course, it can be used for motivation. In fact, using the theory like Maslow, maybe application for masters, even for masters or project, I can tell students not to go into masters. Not to go into Maslow, because Maslow has been researched by so many people. Try to look into some of the area less that people have researched, the theory to be used. In fact, for PhD, unless the student can contribute something new to the theory, that means modification to the Maslow theory, new knowledge, then it can be accepted. Otherwise, we need to let the student know from the beginning. If you are going to take this part, where is going to end? It's going to take you much more longer for you to complete. It's very difficult to justify when it comes to significance of the study, contribution to the study. For example, for project, you are talking about contribution to practice. If it is a DBA, you're talking about contribution to practice, PhD, contribution to theory. So this is where the first stage is very important. First stage in the meeting. You can sometimes we have some students who will prefer supervisor who will agree to what they say. Then later on, it can become a problem. I do have one student who wants to do as he wishes, who's doing something related to property related. But I told myself and co-supervisor, we are making it clear to him, this will not gonna take him to complete successfully the doctorate, the DBA. So, and the communication, if you have the communication, put it in writing and email to him, this is what is expected. Otherwise, it will be very difficult. And some of the students will always want to find easy way. Easy way, I do have students who look into some other dissertation thesis. They try to, frame the framework, and then the way it is written, which is similar. And then nowadays, they can paraphrase. In the internet also, they have a paraphrasing tools. So it's important to set the expectation from the day one. Anybody else with any challenges, feel free to share your thoughts.
Yeah, Dr. Bala.
Yeah.
Dr. Bala Kajari here.
Hmm.
I think many of us over here will identify with this difficulty we face when supervising the master's students is what have they learned in research methodology? Because when they come to this level to do the SEMBA final year project where they only have 2 semesters to finish everything, I find that majority of them do not know what is the meaning of fundamentals, like what is a research objective. They do not know how to do literature review. They do not know what is a theoretical framework. And they have been allowed to, they have passed the research method course, but when they come to do the project, they are totally lost and they are expecting the supervisor to teach them everything.
Agree, Kajari.
100%.
Agree 100%.
Yeah, agree 100%.
I
Yes,
just had a
agree,
student
agree.
yesterday.
Came with a zero knowledge.
Zero
Problem
knowledge.
statement, don't know introduction, don't know what to
Don't-
write.
What do they study in research method? I also
Yes.
want to know.
And they don't know what is the meaning of abstract. The abstract they produce is like 1 paragraph introducing, and the abstract is like a self-introduction and the course title. That's it. And I think all of us here, especially when we're handling the SEMBA student, yesterday I was marking the progress report of 1 student who wrote 3 pages of literature review, Cerita for 3 pages and not a single citation. I nearly collapsed.
Okay. These are not only problems that you face.
Can I add on, sister?
Sure.
So excited. Okay, actually, not only that, when I'm supervised DBA student, okay, they will come to me like they are writing an article or writing an assignment base. It's not
Exactly,
the
Wen Hui.
dissertation base. And my student come with me very general. I ask them, why can you have this title? Oh, I do this when
I can't hear. Can you hear me? Okay.
Okay, they said that I do this during my research methodology. I have a student, okay, before I narrow down the scope, they just give me the innovations of Industry 4.0.
Okay.
Then I ask him what you want to research. Oh, I don't want to know about Industry 4.0, but this is what they really did in their research methodology. Without align with the objective, without align with the research question, everything, and they come with me just a very general paper. Yes, they got the citations, but it's in a very general base, which we cannot see any difference for normal article writing and a dissertation paper.
Okay, thank you, Wen Hui. I think the problem, if you are expecting, if even the doctoral students are in this, falls under this category, what else you want to say about the master students? Say for master students, also doctoral students, they have been trained in the research methodology. For doctoral students, they have 2 courses on research methodology. One is the proposal defense part, conceptualization and theoretical framework of research, and quantitative and qualitative analysis. Whereas for SEMBA students, they will be taking a course on research methods. I have no clear idea about what they really go through in a research method. By right, research method itself will prepare them to go for your project. Actually,
can I also chip in?
Yes.
Because when they come to us, when we tell them this is incorrect way of doing things, then they got surprised as well, because they say, how come in their assignment, when they were completing their assignment 1 and 2, how come that was actually being approved and graded? So when they come to us, they kind of surprised that, oh, this is not the way. Yeah, so we had to guide them like from A to Z. So I think that's the issue. Yeah.
Okay. Who is teaching research methods currently? I'm not sure who is the course lead. Anyone here?
Is, I think it used to be Prakash, but I'm not sure.
It's still Prakash. It's
Still Prakash. Okay.
Yeah.
I think the dissertation with the title, with the problem statement, with the objective research questions, you should start with the research methods itself during the course.
Correct.
So once it has been started during research methods, it will become easier at a later stage where the student will go through the project report writing. Okay.
Dr. Bala, Dr. Bala, can I make a suggestion here?
Yeah.
For the last 2 years, whatever concerns there may have been, RSPW has not been conducted. Why don't, is there any possibility of reviving it? We can have it as an online version, you know, with a whole day program, a 2-day program, because the students, many students have asked me, because when they speak to the seniors, they say that the seniors have attended such a session, but now they're pretty lost and they don't have a clear guideline of what to do. Could you bring this up?
Okay. Now, RSPW, yes, it can be done online, but the decision is not from me. I am coolie, you know, right? I just follow direction.
Because we all here also coolie.
I'm a coolie. So you have to bring it up to the dean. So it is a decision of the dean to decide whether to do the RSPW online or even face-to-face. I think face-to-face, people would prefer, nowadays people would prefer to do online.
Correct.
But before looking at RSPW, it is important, as I said, the research method course must provide them with a clear foundation of what they are going to do, the title, okay, their research problem, the research objective, research question, also up to literature and theoretical framework. That will become easier for the next stage.
Sorry, Dr. Bala, they are also not familiar with any of the analytical tools. SPSS, they don't know. And so I have to run through with them, you know, some of the software and do a live run to show. And, you know, it cannot be an exact training session, but just to guide through, because they said they have never heard. I have one student who has never heard of any analytical tools, and he only know how to use Excel.
Okay. Now, SPSS, you go to those who are expert in that field. Let them guide. Some of us might not be. Even I can tell you, I can say that I know it.
Because so SPSS is because SPSS is not the only tool. There are many others. There are many others.
So it is important to direct them. Maybe someone with a good knowledge of specific training just on SPSS, like during previous RSPW, we used to call Dr. Kwa.
Is what I'm aiming for. Dr. Kwa used to do it.
That is something that you have to tell the what they call SEMBA program lead or the dean, directly to the dean. Maybe the dean can consider. Okay, I can decide. I can't say you have to. No, it's again decision of the dean. You can suggest. All right. Okay. Problems.
Sorry, Dr. Bala. Can I disturb you for 1 minute?
Sure.
Only one portion. I have 6 students, 6 SEMBA students this semester, and out of the 6, only one of them got it correct when they first come and see me. The rest of them got it all wrong. So we identify that there is something wrong with the research method. Because if not, then every student will, almost every student will get it right rather than get it wrong. Correct or not?
This is what we call the gap in the performance gap, or what in HR we call training gap, training performance gap or training needs. The training need for the students, where the student needs to be equipped with the essential tools and techniques in data gathering, data analysis, and all that. Okay, that can be taken up to the school dean. Again, back to the Budi Bicara lah. Okay, boss Malik to decide. Okay. All right. Many things for common challenges we find. Some students, even though they have gone through the research methods, they still don't know where to start, how to start. They have difficulty in writing skill. They have written for their assignment. Most of the assignment for the coursework component they have completed, but still, when some of them are doing their dissertation or thesis, something like a thesis, something like a project for the first time, they might not have done in their degree. Because some of the degree program, they don't have, not all the degree programs will have a project. And some of them coming with the advanced standing, some of them coming with the diploma and all, where they have not done any research, any writing. So it's important to guide from the beginning, to clarify from the beginning the steps that are involved from day one. Okay, some of them, even a DBA, I find, they want to give up. I told them you have already reached this stage. You only have one final hurdle to clear. Try your level best. It's going to be tough, but you can do it. Have a positive mindset. Actually, we can go on and on, many things on the overcoming about the challenges. Now, the students, when we guide them in writing, we need to be clear with what are the expectations. I'm sure, okay, tell me any one of you who have not seen the marking rubrics for SEMBA. I can share. I think many of you know. Those of you who have been here for many years know the marking rubrics have not been changed. Almost the same. It is almost the same rubrics. Marking scheme. You know the marking scheme, right? So the marking scheme is divided into various sections. Sorry. Various sections on how the marks to be allocated. Like abstract and introduction 15%, literature review 15%, the methodology part 15%, analysis comes 20%, findings conclusion 15%, and then there are other areas like references, formatting, overall impression. And the student needs to be clear on grounds that he or she is going to be assessed, how they are going to be assessed. This one they need to be very clear from day one. Otherwise, if they are not clear, then it's our duty, it's our role to clearly provide the expectation. And some of this, when we used to do RSPW, and I had few sessions where I conducted on writing, and I have given, and in fact, some of the writing part, it has been done in many RSPW in the past. So most of the information is similar to what we have communicated to the student. Sometimes if you find abstract itself can be faulty, the way they write the abstract. Abstract is the first. Now, before abstract, title. Sometimes title should clearly reflect the thesis. Title should clearly reflect the project. The title should not be too long and title should not be too short. Okay, how to identify and how to write a proper title. There are a lot of resources for you to look into the title. The title plays an important. Title itself needs to be catchy, especially for the potential readers. Even when you want to publish a paper in a journal, the title plays a very important role. After the title, what people read, what the examiner, what the reviewer will read. They are going to read the abstract. So it's an abstract itself in within 200 pages, 250 pages. Needs to be very clear. Purpose, methods, finding. Sometimes purpose or aim, methodology that is being employed, the findings. Maybe you want to add significance for findings. It needs to be clear because sometimes even at the DBA, I find abstract. Some of the basic information that should be there in the abstract is missing. People write a long abstract. Abstract should not be that long. Again, the length of the abstract is dependent on the handbook. DBA handbook, like DBA, you have a handbook. Over here, you have a guidelines for a project. You need to follow the guidelines as provided by the project guidelines, as per the project guidelines. So you can easily know what is a good abstract, bad abstract. Some of these, I think it is not from me. It has been presented in many of the RSPW in the past. So this information I have extracted from what we have presented to the student in RSPW in the past. In the past, I think the last time we had RSPW was in the year 2019. After that, it's all online, and after that, we decided not to have RSPW anymore. But again, as many of you requested, possible to look at it online. So abstract, not only abstract, introduction. Now introduction, there are some guidelines later on, especially one part after introduction. I'm going to go into introduction part. Many get confused. You don't put a research gap in the introduction. Research gap must come during the literature side, after you have done your literature review. What is the difference between a problem statement and a research gap? You can't put everything in the introduction. Introduction is more of a surface level. For some of you are familiar with scuba diving and snorkeling. You know what is snorkeling? You know what is scuba diving? Scuba diving, it is surface level exploration, surface. Even kalau you tak tahu berenang pun you boleh buat snorkeling. Sorry, not scuba diving, snorkeling. Snorkeling, surface level. For example, if you go areas like in Sabah, from Tawau Airport, you can go Sipadan. Now it is a bit problem there after Abu Sayyaf and then the Sulu invasion and all that. But that area used to be very popular. People go and do it. Now, what is that? Snorkeling. Problem statement is just like snorkeling, surface level exploration. You don't go into that. But sometimes we do find problem statement itself unclear. See, when the problem statement is unclear, it's difficult for you to go into link or align it to the objective and research questions. Ini pandangan saya lah. This is from my opinion when I look at. I always emphasize from the beginning, make sure your problem statement clear with citation. And sometimes what happens is that when they write the problem statement, I find the references are ancient references for problem statement. You might find some of the students writing literature that is year 2000, 2005, 2010, even 90s pun got, 90s, 80s also got. That is not going to help. Problem statement, you need to align with the current development in the field. For example, some of the research I find even in the DBA, they are writing about the changes in the environment. They forgot COVID-19. They forgot Industry 4.0 or Industry 5.0. We move from 4.0, maybe moving to 5.0. And also they forgot environment, business environment today that is considered to be VUCA environment. So what is that VUCA? Volatile environment that is volatile, that is uncertain, complex, ambiguous. Many of them, like even COVID have impacted the world economy and management in organization. It affected every aspect of organizational management over the last 2 years. Tapi dalam problem statement don't have. They never put in anything. This is a problem because the thing is sometimes you need to, when students write the problem statement, it is essential to clearly understand the problem of the problem statement. Is a problem a real problem, or is a problem just something that they imagine? It has to be a real problem. It has to be supported with literature. Betul tak? Anybody, any view, different view? You can tell me any difference in terms of view. I'm giving from my opinion. Each and every one of you will have different way, different methods of looking into it. Ada apa-apa cadangan, suggestion, the first part, the abstract and problem, the introduction, 15%. I emphasize problem statement because that problem statement, if it is clearly written, will help the next stage of coming out with a clear objective and research question. Now, once these are the next, when you go to literature side, then you go into scuba diving, research gap, deeper level exploration, where you look into the theory, concepts, and all that. So how to write? Okay, you need go and search. If you do a search, how to write a problem statement, a lot of resources are there. Guide the student. This is the first stage. Identify the right problem from the beginning. This is what in management we call effectiveness. Effectiveness means doing the right thing from the beginning. Sorry. Not efficiency. Efficiency means they know the research method, everything. Doing things right is efficiency. But between effectiveness and efficiency, effectiveness is more important. You need to be both effective and efficient. So start with the problem statement from the beginning. Problem statement need to be clear, direct. That's why spend more time identifying the problem. Help the students to identify where the problem, what is the problem. Problem. Right, Wenti. What is the Wenti? Then you go further. Nali yo Wenti. Where is the problem? Where? Find out where is the problem, how that Wenti or problem affects others in the organization, in the industry, to other stakeholders. You need to go through deeper exploration. But of course, problem when you write, it's more surface level. Later, when you go to the gap, then you go the detail. That's why not only for students, we also have to update happenings in the field. Although we are not subject matter expert in any specific field, but just go and do some search about the field. Update yourself. Update yourself. What is the thing that are happening in the industry? Like I have students who are doing in oil and gas related industry. So I need to go and do some search. The business environment, the problem faced by the oil and gas industry, problem faced by, let's say, the SMEs. What are the things? You not only the student, you request the student to update, but we must update. Not only you, me, it includes me. We must update ourselves. Information that are essential information related to the field. Okay, now I'm not sure about the rest of you. For me, when I advise a student, I might be wrong, you might be right, or there's no right or wrong here. When I advise a student, this is from my perspective. Okay, you can have your own as long as you feel that is correct and you have seen support from the literature, past literatures. For me, if I want them to align each of the research objective to the research question. Like for example, you have 4 research questions, research objective. You link each of the 4 research objective to the research question. You need to have an alignment. And of course, depending on the methodology they are going to employ and all that, you have hypothesis and all, has to be related to the objective. Now, sorry. Why I am telling you this? Because I have seen even at the doctoral level, people write research objective and research question, dia cannot fit. Research objective nampak lain, seem to be different than the question. This is my view, my suggestion, but anybody have different view, feel free to, we can discuss. Anybody ada pandangan yang berbeda? Ada tak? Anybody? All the expertise, pakar. Dr. Kang is, I know, is very pakar dalam research. Any view from you, Dr. Kang?
Jangan cakap macam ni, Profesor Bala.
Saya bukan profesor lah.
Okay, in this area, if I can just say something, because to me, normally, I don't like to give too many objectives because I'm afraid the student can't achieve the outcome at the end of their study. So I will try to minimize the objective, but then the questions I can actually give a bit more. So what I can do is actually I put RO1, which is research objective 1, to try to answer 2 questions. Research objective 1 to research objective 1, to research question 1 and research question 2. So it depends on how we write the statements, because I'm from quantitative background. I will put all the variables into RQ1, RQ2. So let's say if there are 2 variables in RQ1 and there's another one in RQ2, the research objective can actually meet the 2 questions at the same time. And then RQ2, RO2, RO2, which is research objective 2, then I'll give another statement and to meet the RQ3 and RQ4.
Okay.
So this is to prepare if the student go for findings later on, the result does not be 100% up to their expectation. They can still go for at least the objective met. So at the end of it, if you have a research which is analyzed and with the numbers and statistics, where you can't meet the objective, that is a bigger problem that a student is going to face. So that is what I normally do. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Kang. As I said, each and every supervisor, in terms of the way they guide, but the thing is that most important, as long as the research questions are linked to the research objective, because I have seen the research objective and research question are not linked. As long you can have 2 research objective for one research. You can have 2 research questions for one research objective. It is fine. It is acceptable, but make sure it is aligned. Okay. Anybody else with any views? Any suggestions or view related to writing research objective and research question?
Can I also add one more thing?
Yeah, sure.
The way we write RO and RQ for quantitative study and qualitative study, they are different. There are many, area is different. So I think we need to actually guide the student to write a correct one. That's all. Thank you.
Because in a qualitative, we are looking into more deeper level of analysis, like how more, but it's not necessarily, it has to be like what, why, how, like what, mostly quantitative. It's just numerical you want to measure. It's better you want to look into numerical or words. So it depends, because the RQ, your research questions that you are going to ask is going to determine your chapter 3, the methodology. How you are going to write your methodology, how you are going to justify your methodology. Research methodology is mainly how are you going to answer your research question. These are the basic things, but again, differ from researcher to researcher. But for me, I look at the chapter 3, all will be related to how you're answering your research question. If you have 1, 2, 3, or 4. Okay, I have, again, as I said, views can be different. Okay, as long as it follows and it is clearly aligned with your problem statement, with your research objective, and also your research question. Now, literature review is the next part. Literature review usually chapter 2. Chapter 1, some of the key areas, as I say, introduction. Introduction, make sure it is current. References needs to be current. And then, if far as possible, provide statistics, recent statistics. Don't give ancient statistics, recent statistics. You might have introduction, a background introduction, depending on your guide, writing guide, and then your problem statement, and then your research objective, research questions. You might even have scope of your study, limitations. Limitations, sometimes they might even, it depends, you have to check your guidebook. Limitation, is it in chapter 3 or even chapter 1? And then you will also have definition of concepts. The concepts that they are using, operational definition, you can include, and then organization of chapters. What constitute chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3, chapter 4, and chapter 5. Then you move into chapter 2, that is literature review. And as I used to say, it has to be current and relevant. Last 5 years at least. What I used to tell the student, at least 40%, 40% of the literature cited needs to be journal article, bukan blog apa, journal article published during the last 5 years. Last 5 years means you can take from 2017 till now, or 2018 to 2022. 2017 pun okay. Last 5 years at least 40% Canada. Otherwise, it will be considered to be ancient. In fact, there are a lot to speak about literature review. We have last time, I remember Dr. Kang also have presented in RSPW about literature review, how to do a good literature review. What are the steps? Yeah, I remember dulu you present kan, I can remember that.
Basically, I think in that particular RSPW, I mentioned to them how to get the article, because they have a lot of problem unable to get free article, and they wanted that. So I shared some ways to do that, and I think today all students widely know that how to get it free. Even the library doesn't subscribe to it. And then I also tell them what are the meaning of the latest, because if we say 5 years, sometimes technology 5 years is even too long or too old. So in certain sociology studies or even the social inclusion study, 5 years actually very, very, very impossible, because thing changes like 10, 15 years ago, see? So depending on the differences that we are trying to pitch in terms of topic. So I think some students, they really have problem into meta-analysis. So I also cover meta-analysis so that it's good. They do a very good and intensive literature review. So basically, these are the area that I do for the RSPW for the master students.
Okay, all right. Thank you, Dr. Kang. Okay, all right. Literature review. Now, many guides. I used to tell them they can summarize a literature with a literature matrix. I'm sure you know what is literature matrix. Sorry, literature matrix, a guide. Looking into it can be arranged in various ways based on, sometimes they look at the abstract, from there they know what are the who research, what is their scope of the research, what are their findings, what are the methodology that they use, what are the findings. They can put it in a matrix format, literature matrix. If you want to know what is a literature matrix, you just do a search, literature matrix, how to do a literature matrix, guide the students. Mostly I see literature metrics. After the literature metrics, which summarizes, then you go into your framework, your research gap, and your framework. Writing a framework and your research gap. And okay, I'm going a bit faster. Then your chapter 3 is about the methodological aspects. Research method, justification, very important. A method that are going to be used. Research method, how you are going to answer your research questions. Now, you can't say it's only quantitative is right, qualitative is right. Some people, they will do both quantitative and qualitative. Some research, depending, like let's say if it is a case study research, whether it is an ethnography. Ethnography is a study about culture. People stay in an organization, learn about the organizational culture. Okay. Then many of this type, it will be more appropriate methodology will be qualitative rather than quantitative. So depending on what you want to find out, your answer. Okay, and then of course there are areas, how the population of your study coming into the geographical location, the scope. Now, this also have an implication to your chapter 1 earlier and also your title. For me, I will tell them, let's say they want to study something, the students likes to put a study of, let's say, organizational commitment of manufacturing company, manufacturing organization in Malaysia for a project. But their samples are all taken from Penang. The population, Penang, samples are from Penang. Then I say, you can directly write in Penang rather than in Malaysia. Why? Because when you write Malaysia, what you can find in Penang and what you are able to find in Sabah, let's say in Tawau, Sandakan, a certain part of Sarawak, it might not be consistent. Because even though Malaysia, organizational culture, leadership style, many factors might differ from location to location. So the students should not be over ambitious, want to write the whole Malaysia. For a project, let's say that is 8 months, 6 to 8 months, it's not possible for them to get, unless they can get it through online survey questionnaire, they have samples, they are able to identify from the other parts of Malaysia, maybe yes. But if their focus is just one location, write the title, let's say Penang. Or if they want to go a bit further, Penang, Kedah, then northern region of Peninsular Malaysia. This is my suggestions to the students. Again, researchers or even supervisors might have different views related to this. The methodology, some of the key area, the approach, the data, sorry, describe how the data to be collected. I think here I have missed out here. Data to be collected, methods to be used to analyze, evaluate and justify the methodological choice, justification. Okay, like for example, in a qualitative, if you are using ethnography, like let's say if the researcher want to do discourse analysis, content analysis, or a field like a documentary analysis, sometimes you also have a methodology that is called hermeneutics, where you do a text analysis. They need to justify why you have selected. And then the limitation of the choice, methodological choice that the student is going to use. I'm sure I don't have to go through with you. Many of you are familiar with this. That's why whether qualitative, quantitative, or mixed method are distinguished by their focus. Word, numbers, or both. Mixed, you have both. Some students may want to do qualitative. Yes, I've looked at our marking scheme. The dean requested me to take a look at our marking scheme, the project writing, whether we can use it for qualitative. When I look at our marking scheme and the rubrics, the marking rubrics, there is no specific mention of quantitative or qualitative. So students who wants to do qualitative can also be used. The same guide can also be used for students who wants to do qualitative. So there is no, if you want to do separate for quantitative, then you have to also write separate for quantitative. And also for those who are doing both quantitative and qualitative. At present, when I look at the marking guidelines or the generic marking scheme, it is applicable for both. Then analysis. analysis, the analysis that how they carry out the analysis. These are, let's say the student do not know how to analyze. They have done, let's say, chapter 1 is okay, everything okay. Chapter 2, they have collected the data. Analysis, they can get guides. But the most important thing for them, after they analyze, they must be able to give interpretation. The interpretation based on literature support. Sometimes they just do, some students, they just analyze, they just present the statistics and everything, but they don't give interpretation. So when they give an interpretation, let's say, for example, they study locus of control of leaders in a particular industry. They find they are more external, okay? The result shows more external rather than internal. Now, in that particular industry, if it is an external, then you have to look into the literature. A similar study has been done in the past, in year 1, by whom? That found that the leaders in this particular industry, leaders tends to be more externals rather than something you need to quote. You need to provide literature support. If you don't provide the literature support, it's just an analysis without much meaning to it. And anybody, any questions on this part?
Dr. Bala, Lilian here again. Can I ask you one question?
Sure.
The question is the supervisor supposed to teach the students how to do data analysis?
Okay, this is a question. If you know the data analysis, you can guide the students in data analysis. In my case, quantitative data analysis, I cannot say I know it all. No, that is the reason why in some of the like PhD and DBA, where the student is doing quantitative analysis, I have co-supervisors. Co-supervisors, like I have Dr. Kwa for one of the students, Dr. Kwa, and then I have co-supervisor Dr. Hariwalan for one of the students, and one more co-supervisor in Johor, Dr. Lokeshwari for one of the for 3 of the students who are doing quantitative. These supervisors, they are quantitative people, and they know the data analysis. They are strong in quantitative, so they will guide. Okay, but my role is to look at the entire process, starting with the chapter 1, 2, 3. That's why from the beginning we clarify our roles. Okay, clarification of the role. Otherwise there will be a conflict between the main supervisor and the co-supervisor. So most important thing, the relationship between the main supervisor and co-supervisor needs to be good, so they can help together. They can help the student. Otherwise, if the main supervisor tells something and then the co-supervisor wants to do something else, then it will be difficult for all 3. It will be difficult for the main supervisor, co-supervisor, and let's say the student. And I'm not sure about your master SEMBA project, whether you have co-supervisor. Even let's say if you don't have a co-supervisor, and if the students are doing quantitative analysis, you can talk to the boss, to the dean. Will there be anyone who can guide the student in doing the quantitative analysis if you are unfamiliar with the quantitative analysis? Because not every supervisor is good in all the methods, because their background, research background, field of studies can be different. They might be different. This is my opinion. Okay, this is my opinion. Anybody have any other views? Feel free to share.
Dr. Bala Kajari here. The main problem, I can totally identify with what Lilian is saying, because all the students that I have been handling last year and then this year also have a serious issue here. They may be able to handle the SPSS and all that, but to do the analysis, interpretation, they find it a lot difficult. They do not know and they require assistance. So I have to sit down, and sometimes I also find that I'm not even suitable to do the analysis part because I have to look at the raw data.
Yeah.
And run it through. And this is where I find that there's a lot of help and guidance that students need, the analysis part. I'm not sure how this gap can be closed, whether research method course should take care of this, because the students actually don't know what to do.
Okay, my suggestion, 2 ways. Either we upgrade ourselves into this area. For me, I don't see, because the area that I do research is completely different. I do mostly the qualitative text analysis, and then as far as a publication. In the past, I have published. For me, I don't have that motivation at the present moment to go for it. But for those new who are in the academia, who wants to grow, it's essential for you to upgrade, to learn. But let's say if you feel that you don't feel that it's necessary for you, but to go into that, get assistance. Get assistance from somebody who is strong in quantitative, in data analysis. Maybe you can talk to the dean, tell the problem to the dean. I'm sure definitely he will be able to find solution. I don't think we'll be able to put everything. You have to do it by yourself. So that, because in our school, there are people who are strong in quantitative. Those who are quantitative method, they are very strong, who are good in SPSS, data analysis, who will be able to assist. This is my opinion. Ini cadangan ataupun pandangan, bukan keputusan ataupun decision. Keputusan or decision, you have to check with the boss, to the dean.
You know what I was thinking, Dr. Bala? It's like because these are a certain set of skills that people develop. And I was thinking, like, if we could have like workshops, you know, like a one-day workshop for students to attend, to learn how to do data analysis, whichever method, whether it's quantitative or qualitative, a one-day, 2 workshops, so that whether it's SEMBA students, DBA students, or PhD students, they can attend such workshops. Because public universities, they have plenty of all these. That students attend. Yeah.
Jerry, I mentioned this to Dr. Amba in the workshop. Professor Bala Muniendi in his workshop. And he said that he will take up this one and then prepare. Sometimes in April or May, there will be another, there will be the first one called Methodology on NVivo. Which is already suggested, but I don't know how materialized, you know, they want to do it, how real they want to start doing it.
Okay, great, thanks.
Okay, let me update you. I am in the committee of CGS, Center for Graduate Studies. They are already planning research methodology course for the students. But unfortunately, it's for what they call doctoral students. DBA, not DBA, they say PhD. I think DBA will also be included. They didn't include masters. Maybe I can suggest in the next meeting. I think there will be a meeting. End of this month, there will be a meeting. Or we can suggest to also include master students. Because I do not know the total number that will be involved.
Is there a reason why they don't want to include a master student?
I'm not so sure. I'm not so sure. Originally,
the same workshop will benefit all the students, isn't it?
Yes. Why they wanted to do the workshop for the doctoral student is that doctoral program is going for accreditation. PhD is going for accreditation. DBA is also going for accreditation. There is some requirements where additional training that is given to the students. If you are able to show evidence of that, that will be helpful for that. Even though they go through the course, like what you call courses like this conceptualization and theoretical development in research, quantitative and qualitative analysis. They wanted to give a what you call additional training for the students who are in doctoral program, especially DBA, PhD, DBA and PhD. But I can, maybe since I am there, maybe I can suggest to extend it to master students. But again, master students can also be given a separate training. In fact, each and every one of you also can contribute, just like RSPW in the past. So we had RSPW in the past, right? Everybody knows. Those who are new, I think Stella might not be familiar, but I think when we are familiar, right, we had RSPW in the past. So we had the RSPW. Something like RSPW, we can do it online.
Yes,
possible.
We have that. We have two-day workshop for the master previously.
Yeah.
But the question is, what happened to it? It suddenly died because of COVID.
No, it was not taken off because of COVID. It was because of the budget.
And also, Mr. Chong is retired. So I don't think that previously got anyone to arrange on that. This is also one of the facts, I think.
That is done by the project coordinator. The current project coordinator is boss.
It was killed
way
before MCO.
Sorry, Lillian, I was not
Yes.
able to hear because I was disconnected for a moment. The audio was not, it was not audible. So what were you trying to say?
No, I was saying that, you know, the RSPW was killed even before during I mean, conveniently during the MCO that time there was no RSPW, and after that it continued on, there is no more. So
Okay.
according to Dr. Alexander Kang, it's more because there is no budget. According to Dr. Khan, he said because Mr. Chong has left. What I'm saying is that it's not Mr. Chong's problem because this RSPW is being coordinated out of the project coordinator office. The project coordinator is boss.
That you have to communicate to the project coordinator. I know in the past, Chong was doing it. For every year, he used to spend a lot of time because at one time I used to sit together with Chong. I know the effort that he used to put in organization. And after he left, I think it's not organized. But it can be done online. I think online would be better. That is something that you can propose to the coordinator or the program lead for the SEMBA. That is our dean. I'm not sure why dean should be here. I think he has a meeting. I think, yep.
Anyway, I just give you one last suggestion on what my student did. So one of my students actually go and hire somebody to help him with data analysis.
Yep. The student can even find help external, but of course, it's also our role and our duty to assist internally when they come to us. Okay. Last few part recommendation. The recommendation needs to relate to your research problem, objective, and research questions. Sometimes it will be doing recommendations, something else, not related at all. Recommendation, and then after recommendation, for me, let's say if it is a doctoral, like PhD is theory, focus on theoretical contribution. DBA is more practical contribution because DBA is a professional doctorate. For master's project, as long as it has some contribution to practice, improvement of a practice within an organization, if they are doing a study, the scope of their study is within a particular organization, within a particular industry, that can be acceptable. Generally, that are acceptable. Most of our students, they do organizational base or industry base. That is for contribution, significant contribution. Recommendation, they can look into recommendations from various perspectives. This part, chapter 5 is 15%. I'm sure if you go into your what they call marking scheme, 15%. Sometimes I find they don't write too much here, but it's important for you to guide the students to write more, recommend how this research is going to be helpful for whom? For the company, for the industry. Let's say if you are looking into something that relates to policy matters, government, for the buyers, suppliers, anywhere, all the stakeholders, all the stakeholders. And then the contribution, practical contribution, theoretical contribution. Then of course, there are remaining part, not to say need to be ignored, but it's important because 20% is going to be assessed. 10% here, there is another 10% in another part. How the format of the report according to the writing guide. Writing guide, all of you, the dean would have the project leader, no, not the project, the program leader or the dean would have provided to you the project writing. I have a copy that he has shared with me. If you don't have, I can send it to you. Referencing done compiled with the WOU citation guideline. These are important so that there is a consistency, so that it is consistent. And where is that? I'm almost coming to an end. Okay, this is a guideline, and then the other one is the overall impression. This is a very subjective. How is your overall? Is a report description of the report. Now I look at overall impression means the flow. The flow from your title, from the abstract, the introduction or the background, research, the problem statement, research objective, research questions, the scope of study, the literature, the framework, the gap, the framework, the methodology, the analysis, and the recommendation with the contribution. I look at the flow, the flair in writing. Sometimes also flair in writing. Writing flair. What we call flair. Flair ni the way the word the report is structured and the way it is being written, structure and the flair of the report. Because this is very subjective, it's not given that detail in the guide. And that's it. So like what Einstein says, we want to avoid problem. A clever person will solve a problem, but a wise person will avoid the problem. You remember, sediakan payung sebelum hujan. You feel that it's going to rain. You don't prepare with an umbrella. You just go out. All of a sudden it rains and you are going to run here and there looking for the umbrella. So the same thing as I said from the beginning, start with the psychological contract, expectations. Expectations, what you expect the students from the students and what students must know what you expect from them. Make it clear from the beginning. If your clarification from the beginning, it is very clear, then you can avoid problem. You don't have to solve problem. Later stages, sometimes many people get into problem. People want to change this, do this, complain about this, that. All that can be avoided from the beginning if you are able to avoid with a clear expectations. Okay, that's actually coming to an end. Actually, I exceeded the time. The time actually given to me is 1 hour. Another hour will be Dr. Anbar's session on writing for PhD and DBA. Writing for PhD and DBA. Since he's not here, he will be doing it on another day and time, which will be informed, that you will be informed. Otherwise, this session is going to go, by right, this session, 2 hour session, first hour is the project. The next session is on the DBA and PhD. Okay, anybody with any questions or anything that you feel, okay, the strategy that you can use or the action plan that you can use to assist the students in guiding, overcome the challenges in guiding, you can write down. Maybe you want to either say it in the, you use the audio, or you want to write down, you can write down.
Bala,
yeah.
Can I have your earlier slide where you look at contribution?
Can all the slides, these slides that are okay. What I will do is that I will share the slides here with you.
Thank you.
To everyone, I go to the, wait, just give me a minute. Where did I put the slide? Okay. I will share the slide together with the marking guidelines and all that. Okay, the slide. Okay, it says that, oh, okay. What I have to do, I have to stop share first, then only I'll be able to share. I can't share directly. Let me stop share. Okay, and I close the slide.
No, I just want the one slide only, the contribution.
Yeah. It's okay. I'm sharing the entire slide. I'm sharing the entire slide.
Actually, all these things like you put in the LMS, like the earlier sessions are then senang.
Okay. Wait,
everything black and white senang.
Okay, I go to the chat. I go to. Okay. I'm also going to share the what they call SEMBA Students Guide to Project. Actually, I am not guiding SEMBA at the moment, only DBA and PhD. Those, but I was requested to do. So I said, okay, fine, I will do. But because mostly it is a bit general, that can be applicable for everybody. Are you able to download? It's in the chat. Boleh ke download? I have shared few documents in the chat.
Let me try. There are two that you shared. Is it the same?
Okay, I have shared 3, not 2. Okay, by now you should receive 3. One
So
is
the first one is a PowerPoint, is it?
first one is a PowerPoint guiding students project writing. Second one is SEMBA students writing guidelines, and the third one is a project marking scheme. Ada 3.
Can download and open already can.
Okay, you can take it.
On iPhone tak boleh. So
Tak apa. I can send it direct to you.
LMS lah senang.
Okay.
Dr. Bala, can you send to me also, because I'm using handphone to attend the training? Thank you,
Dr.
Dr. Bala.
Khan. Mayo Wanti, I will send. I will send in. I will upload in the LMS. In case if I have any difficulty uploading in LMS, I can email directly to you.
LMS.
Thank you, Dr. Bala.
Dr.
Yes,
Bala, you
yes.
can also send to GSBA lah.
GSBA pun boleh juga.
Terima
没
kasih
问
ya.
题，没问
Mayo
题。
Wanti. Mana ni everyone here? Some of them just came. Tengku just came, just joined. Good morning. Still morning, right?
We are
Good
finishing.
morning, Prof. Bala. I had meeting with AICB. Sorry for the late.
Oh, okay. Anybody, any closing, any questions before we close our session? I think the recording will be available. I think Ramai Ponteng di sini. I think around 30%, 40% that update and then never give any reasons. Maybe they say maybe not important to attend. Maybe it's okay. Anybody? Any questions? Okay. If there is no,
Dr. Bala,
yes, yo.
You here? Your meeting session. I mean the just now is a video recording. Am I right? So can you also provide the link?
The recording I have recorded, but the recording link, because it's going to be it is recording in a cloud. The link will be with Zubaida Zoo, the CGS.
Yeah.
For the recording of the session, she will give you the link to download.
Because I would like to watch back the video.
Actually, I think you already, many of you, let me tell you frankly, many of you already are the expertise. You all know this. But because the title that is given to me to facilitate is guiding guiding supervisor to guide the students in project writing. That's the title that is given to me. So I have to develop just based on how to help students write the project. But many of you, based on your experience, I think some of you have more experience than me. Some of you until masuk retirement lah. Some of you have done many research in the past. So you all know. So it is nothing new. Okay. Any more questions before I close? Ada from chat.
Thanks,
Okay.
Dr. Bala. Thanks for your sharing. It's actually
Okay.
very good. Very good. It's an eye opener. Learn a lot.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Happy that you all benefited. All right. Thank you. So I will close the session. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Dr. Bala.
Thanks,
Thank
Dr.
you.
Bala.
Drink
Thank
more
you.
water, Dr. Bala.
Thank you, Dr.
Thank you so
Bala.
much.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Dr. Bala.
Thank you. Yep.